Hello, I'm Micks Mowers, Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. In this video today, we're going to be looking at how to remove the bearings on these rollers off of the Honda 553 Pros, your Kazes, your Dunelms, your Sarps, all that sort of thing. If you've got a professional roller, then you'll have bearings inside the end shafts here, which mine are not brilliant. They're nothing to replace them, pretty much. They're pennies and pounds, sort of about £4 to get a new set of rollers, a new set of bearings. But can be a bit of a pickle to get them out, unless you've got the right tool, which I have. And I'll show you how I'm going to remove these bearings very, very quickly, and then we'll get the new ones ordered up, and then put the new ones in place. And then hopefully, when the new parts come for this actual gearbox roller assembly, I can press the new rollers back in, the new bearings back in, and we'll be good to go on that side of things. And it'll all just run smooth and run nice. There's no point doing a gearbox up and then having crappy old bearings to fit it. So let's get these bearings out and get new bearings in. If this is the first time I'm watching Micks Mowers and Mower Man, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's get these bearings out, get the new ones ordered, and get the new ones in. Okay, up on the old bench, as part of this saga with regards to the old Honda that I'm currently doing. That goes down there, don't lose no bits. We're going to be doing the bearings on these end bearings here, and they're just a little bit grabby. Okay, now I'm lucky enough to actually have a bearing puller. If you don't have one, and you're only going to be doing this sort of once, it could be a bit of a pickle for you. You can try, one of the easiest ways that I know to do it is to get a really, really long extension bar all the way through there, through here, put it in a vise and bash them out with a big hammer, okay? That is one way in which you can do it. It's not the prettiest, but it is a good way of doing it. I have done it that way before. The second way of doing it is actually to use what we call a blind bearing puller, in which you have the tools here that go through, if that's the right one. It won't be far out either, Mick or Mouse. Cool, that'd be lush that one in there, but it don't. So his brother next one down, be this one here. That's going to go in, and you then do this bit up. And by doing it up, that will then open up the ends of these splines here, and that will then allow you to grab behind the bearing, and then you can then use a slide hammer to retract it. So let me get up on a vise and a bit more sturdy, and I'll show you exactly how to move it the proper way. Right, so first of all, I'm going to show you how to do it properly, and then I'm going to show you how not to do it properly if you don't have the tools. Now, bearing in mind, not all of my videos are designed for people with lots and lots and lots and lots of tools, okay? Some people just don't have them. They're just people at home in a shed, and what they've got is what they've got. So just bear that in mind. Not everyone can have these nice tools. And it's taken me years to get up there and get them. So this is a blind bearing puller. This is the end that goes into behind the bearing, and we want to do this bit up here. Now just remove your back a smidge, just so we can see what's going on. Get two adjustables. Open them both up. This one's going to sit onto here, and it's going to hold this one still. Okay. Then this one here is going to do up all the way, so we can then enable the bearing puller to bite. There'll be quite a lot of resistance there because you're opening it right up. But once you get to a certain point, you'll see that's starting to bite up. And you want it to open all the way best you can, so it's actually got hold of it. So don't be scared to put a bit of pressure on it. It's going to be about there, I'd say. Got a touch more. Oh, that's about as much as I dare put on that. Okay. You can now get your slide hammer. Come back a bit more. And no funny comments, you lot. I know what you're already thinking. You're already thinking about doing a thumbnail. That then goes into here. Oh, my toes. Good job I have my safety sliders on. That goes onto there. Screw that into place. So as I say, some people don't have all these tools. So this way you do it properly, and I'll show you how to do it not quite so properly. Then bring it around here. Just get right in there so you can see exactly what's going on. There you go. There's a bit of light on there and all, Mick. That might help. A bit of light on the old subject. So you can see exactly what's going on. There you go, a bit of light for you. So now, with that bearing puller now in place, what we can now do is start to pull out this bearing. So just take the slack up, and then with your bearing slide hammer, all you can do is slide the action. No comments, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to go for a slightly shorter roller. Put that back into your vise. You must have somewhere sensible to hold this. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to get hold of, not your new one, not your best one. This is just an old car booty, one I picked up a long time ago. I've had it for years. Push that through and have it, so it's just poking through the side of that bearing. Now what you don't want to happen is you don't want just the inside of the bearing to come out. You want the whole lot. And now with a decent sized hammer, just literally bang it out. So do you need to have a decent sized slide hammer to get those bearings out, or can you just rely on pure old brute force? I should give you the answer very shortly. Okay, so a bit of a continuation on from the Honda video that you guys and girls have probably seen already. The parts have now come in for the roller in itself, because I want to put new bearings in the roller. Now I showed you a quick way of removing the bearings with and without the correct tools. Now I don't actually have a bearing press. That doesn't exist in my little arsenal. It's something I'm looking into getting into, but where would I put it and how often would I use it is the question. So what I've got is I've got new bearings here. Just going to show you the old-fashioned way. Right. So this is how okay guys, I don't need to be told, it's not the right way to do it, Mick. I understand that, but before they have bearing presses in workshops, alright, how do you think they used to do it then? Hey, guys? But just make sure you got eye protection on of some description, guys, and what have you. And all you want for this, really, and honestly, is one of my most favourite tools in the whole wide world. An hammer. So what you're going to want. Got my new bearings. Get your bearing and find a socket that covers the outside race. Okay? You don't want one that actually fits the inside black bit. You want one that actually finds the outside race. Okay? If you've got one that isn't quite right, then you do stand a chance of ruining it. Now what I mean is you've got your bearing here, okay? It doesn't matter what side I go in, both the same. Got a socket here, that's going to fit over top. Look how nice that fits, okay? It's actually going to fit over beautifully. This is actually a snap-on socket, 1516. So if you know who sent me this socket, put a comment in the chat, because someone sent me a snap-on socket. I know who it was. And he will probably love the fact that I'm actually going to be whacking this socket with a hammer in a minute, being a snap-on. Now what you want to do, make sure the area is slightly clean that you're going to be pressing or punching. I've got a little air gun here. All I'm going to do is just clean the area. Now there's no need for no grease, because as long as you bought the right bearing, then it shouldn't be an issue. Make sure your project is secure. Plop your bearing in place. Get it nice and level. You want it so that it goes down together. And before you put it in, just roughly have a look to see how much it's got to go down. So these Honda Lawn Flight bearings, the bearing you want is the 6202RS. Okay, they're fitting there. Just level it up nice and gently. Get your socket, get your little hammer, put your socket over top, and give it a nice good first initial welcome to the family. Just the first one. And that one, we'll just seat it, okay? Roughly where it needs to be. You don't have to be quite so boisterous with the next couple. Just gently put it home. Make sure that your socket is not moving off of the outer race. And if you see it's going down in more areas than one, then just lean the socket over that side a bit more and concentrate the whack on that side. And all you're looking to do is just literally pretty much just nestle that socket all the way down. You make sure you're not damaging the bearing as you go. Now, I don't have a bearing press, as I say, but I will be getting one at some point. I might put it on my Amazon wish list, especially after comments I'm going to get on here about how to put bearings in. But this is how I've always done it, guys. It don't hurt them. Now, once you get to a certain degree, you'll actually feel that actually that bearing is not going to go much more than what it is. You think it's actually in there. So get yourself a little tiny torch. I've got a little red one here somewhere. If I can find it. Oh my God, my t-shirt is actually stuck to my back. That's how hot it is in here today. She's red hot in here. What did I do with my little flashlight? Right, so that's that bearing in. Now just get a flashlight, like I said to you. Where's Mr. Flashlight gone? I had it here a minute ago. Here it is. Get Mr. Flashlight, and you can literally just look in the back of it, and you'll be able to see how far down that bearing's got to go. That bearing's actually fully sat. No damage to the bearing whatsoever. The bearing still spins absolutely beautifully. It doesn't catch, and it's flush all the way down in all areas. So that's that bearing done. No damage, as I say, to the bearing, which is what you're after. You don't want to be damaging the bearings, okay? So the next one is exactly the same. No different. This is the longer bearing out of the two. Make sure your project is secure. Get your airline. Give it a bit of a clean up. Pardon me, just belched. Get your bearing. Is that the old bearing, Mick? That's the old bearing. That's no good. I want a new bearing. I had a new bearing somewhere. I put it in my pocket. Well, but 1, 2. I've got a bearing escaped from somewhere. Be over there somewhere. But there it is. There. Right. So get your new bearing. Plop it into place. Just roughly. Get your socket. And just give it the first welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. That's gone in. And then all you want to do is just concentrate. Now that has gone slightly on the screw width, so I'm going to concentrate on this top end first. Just going to bring that bearing back down again. Give it a little twist, yet no damage. But that socket's got to fit absolutely A1. A bit on this top end. About there, that's my finger. Now if you find that it's not going in right, you've got to really concentrate on what you're doing, guys. That's gone in now, yeah, it like that. So now we can go a bit more perpendicular with it. That's dropped in lovely. That's gone straight in. No damage. That's in. Now you can tell when you hit it, you can tell when it's gone home. If it's got that vibrating sound, that means it's gone home. Quick little look, best I can see. Yeah, all the way in. So that's number 2 bearing done. It took 2 minutes. And no, I don't have a bearing press. There you go. Look at that. We like. All spins beautifully. No damage at all. No damage to the outer side of a bearing. And that's in there. And that is how you install, or how I install, your bearings. Okay guys, that's that video done. How to remove bearings and how to fit them. Now, yes, before you put it in the comments section, I know. You should do it with a bearing press. Yeah, I haven't got one. So the question lies, if you haven't got one, what are you gonna do? Okay, you're gonna go and find one, buy one, pay someone else just to do a 5-minute job. To put bearings in. I might charge you £20 a bearing. You've got to drive there as well at £2 a litre. And for the sake of just doing it right, get the right size socket, and you haven't got a whale on it. I actually hit my finger during that, and my finger doesn't hurt at all, okay? That's how little I was actually hammering it home. So you haven't got to really give it some. quick welcome to the family, which is what you give anybody who comes new to the family, a good punch in the side of the head, and then knock it down through, and just till it touches nicely, and then you know where you are. So that's how I do it. Yeah, I do find pulling them out with a blind puller easier, but a blind puller isn't necessarily the correct bearing for the task, dependent on where your bearing is. So you can't always use a blind puller for pulling bearings out. Just sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But putting them back in, yeah, 9 times out of 10, if you can remove the project from whatever it's connected to, put it in a vise, or if it's heavy enough and supported enough, you can then put it back in with G-clamps and a plate or something along that line. You can use all that as well, but that's quite a long distance to cover. I don't have big enough G-clamps to cover that, so I went for the old method, bash it with a hammer. It works just as well. If that's a video of Micks Mowers and Mower Man on how to install and remove your bearings on your Honda lawnmower or mowers of similar variety, then hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. And guess what? Shock horror, it is completely free to subscribe to my channel. It does not cost you a bean. So if you want more videos, hit subscribe and buzz that old bell button and set the notifications to all. That way you get a little notification say, oi, Mick is now got a video up for you to watch. So I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, people, don't forget, much more importantly, take her easy.